and your hands are going to come underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips with the toes tucked. All right, we're gonna just mobilize through the spine for a moment here, find our neutral. We're gonna tuck nose towards navel, and then find a nice extension along the back of the spine. Okay, nose towards navel, and extension. Heart rate's coming down just a smidge. Last one, we're gonna find flexion, rounding up between the shoulder blades. And then as you come towards extension, stop somewhere halfway where you feel in neutral, tall in the arms, little dip in the lower back. Toes are tucked under. You're gonna press into one hand, opposite hand is gonna row back, and then back down to the mat, pressing into both hands and toes, knees hover, and lower. Opposite side, we switch. Elbow rows. Hand goes back to the mat, knees hover. So you really think pressing into the supporting hand on the mat just to provide support for that row. Pull it in and back and row. Little knee hover, you can imagine like you've got that wide belt on and it cinches a few notches every time you lift through the lower abs. Amazing work. We've got two more. Elbow row back and knee hover. Last one, elbow rows. We're gonna hold that elbow row. You're gonna take that forearm down towards the mat into this twisted position, then press through the hand on the mat to come back up into your elbow row. Okay, so we're staying on that side. If you need to remove your hand from the weight that's on the floor and press palm into mat, you can do that. But if this is fine on your wrist, keep it here. Okay, so we lower with control, finding a twist from the belly button up, and then the obliques pull you back to parallel. And up. Give me two more. On this last one, you're gonna hold it down in that twisted quadruped. The hand that was our supporting hand, that weight's gonna go behind opposite knee, or the same side knee. Okay, you can keep the toes tucked or untuck them here, your choice. We're gonna hug the weight with your leg, and you're just gonna lift the leg up and lower. So it's this bent back leg press here. No change in the lower back as you press that leg up behind you. And I want you to feel like the press is coming from your glute, especially where the glute meets your hamstring, that smile line under the booty. On this next one, we will add on. So you're gonna lift it up and then you're gonna cross that knee behind bottom leg up and in. Up, cross, up, and in. Amazing work. Building. Belly button still pulling up and away from the mat, especially as you lift the leg up behind you. Let's do one more. Cross back, feeling the glute there, and lower. Now you're gonna press back one final time, holding there. You're gonna draw tiny circles with the hip. So it's like you're going up a little bit like a pulse, but you're trying to draw a circle through the hip, staying tall on the arms. One more in this direction. I'm with you. Let's reverse it. Feeling the glute, feeling the upper body support, back of the neck's nice and long. You've got 3 and 2 and 1. And pull it all the way back in. You can grab onto the weight, take it back to where it was, pressing on up, and then you can sit back into a child's pose briefly, reaching out through the arms. You can flick through the fingers if the wrists are bothering you at all. Maybe you give a little wiggle in the hips, feeling the length of the back of the spine. Breathing, and then you're gonna roll up slowly. Hands come back onto the weights, and we're in our starting position, tucking through the toes. So we're gonna go back into the row, return, and then hover the knees and lower. So you row and lower, hover, return. Feel that hug into the side body as the elbow rows in. You've got that wide belt on the lower abs that cinches as you lift the knees. Still breathing here. Okay, we've got 2 more now after this. Using the breath, we exhale, pull. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Last one, we're gonna pull the elbow in on the opposite side now. You're gonna carefully start to twist from the belly button up. Lower that forearm to the mat, and then press through the hand on the mat to lift back up center and bring the elbow back into the row. You can always rest it back onto the mat as a modification if you need more support. Okay, we'll lower it down. So should get a little nice mobility there. I'm feeling a good stretch, release through my mid back as we twist. But also try to tap into how the core is controlling that lower and then powering the lift back to center. Let's just do 2 more. And last one, we're gonna hold it down on the floor, quadruped. That hand that was just supporting you, the weight's gonna go into the same side back leg behind the knee. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked, up to you. And we're pressing that bent leg back, lowering down. We're still supported on the arms. We're going up tall through the supporting leg. We're not trying to shift our weight too far over. Amazing. Feeling long at the back of the body and starting to tap into how the glute is really your mover here. It moves the leg up and back. Feeling where the glute connects to the hamstring, that smile line. Let's add on here now, holding it up. You cross the knee behind the bottom calf, lift it back up and lower. Woo. Cross, lift and lower. I tell you, looks easy, but it's not, right? Let's do 2 more. Lifting up, lower, and back. Last one, press it back. Cross, press back up and lower. Now we're gonna bring that leg back up in parallel, and you're gonna start to draw tiny circles from deep in the hip. Mini lift of the leg as you look up and around through the circle. Woo! Feeling that glute isolation with a little tiny movement here. Let's reverse it. Everything else is stable. Belly button's pulling up and in for you. Give me 3 and 2 and 1. Pulling it back in, grabbing onto the weight, bringing it back underneath the hand, pressing into that hand back to center. We'll take another child's pose, sitting the bum back. You can take the knees slightly wider. Finding a little wiggle through the hips, lengthening through the spine. And then when you're ready, we'll roll all the way up, back to all fours, and then let's swing the legs around for our roll down. Now,